My aunt bribed an inspector with tamales. Now her balcony's a dangerous metaphor for our family issues. So picture this. A balcony born not out of expensive plans, but from the improvisational spirit we all gather when the bank account is kind of middle child ignored. I mean, from the start, it seemed like a little miracle growing over that sad, empty space outside my living room window. There I was, up to my elbows in wooden slats, and what may have been a borrowed power drill. Well, let's say it was temporarily donated by my Uncle Pete, who carries an inventory list better than any hardware store. We patched it together with these memories of family dinners and the goodwill currency of casseroles, you know, the kind generously gifted, but with a side of "remember I gave you something" vibes. The whole motley assembly of it, like a makeshift dream, promised a respite under the stars, maybe with a couple of chairs. That didn't quite match, and it stood gleaming with that naive bravery of a new creature unaware of its own fragility. But let's talk about Don, the inspector, whose presence on our street was something like a throwback to a time of shoulder pads and mullets, an era hanging onto his tan trench coat like a bad habit. The inspection day arrived, carrying the weight of stomach knots clad in anticipation, and a timeline as flimsy as the bank account that started this project. As Don approached, his keen eye already finding the minute misalignments that only eyes accustomed to finding mistakes could, I knew I'd need a little more than charm and crossed fingers to make magic happen. Enter my ace in the hole, abuelita's tamales, wrapped in secrets and savory promises. When the plate emerged, steaming a symphony of chilies and masa, it played its tune right into his soul. He took a bite, and my heart caught the rhythm, beating a frantic hope as I neatly placed the heaviest napkin my conscience could conjure directly into his free hand. The napkin, suddenly weighty with implications, wasn't the only thing lingering in the air as Don chewed, his gaze softening with each thoughtful bite. In a moment, both eternal and fleeting, his face, once so managerial, broke into a smile that felt like a question wrapped in an answer. With a nod, that hold-your-breath silence broke, gifting me words of approval, muddied with just enough ambiguity to spin a tale to my neighbors later. Upstairs, standing on my wobbly success, the victory tasted of tamales and relief. But as evening draped itself over the fresh wood, I found myself wondering how long this triumph might stand, before it too leaned under the weight of gravity's unrelenting truth. Because right then, the squeak of wood meeting stubborn metal reached my ears from beneath, reminding me that the hazy line between homemade dreams and reality often walks the tightrope above the everyday. And just then, a creak of doubt whispered that the tightrope might not hold.